Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and we're going to be looking at some of my hands played over the last few days. I've been recording all of my sessions, but I've deleted all of the videos since I got my new overlay for OBS, which somebody kindly made for me. It's not perfect, more due to my skills than the person who made it, but it does its job. It shows the stack sizes, it shows players' colour tags, but it blocks out names, which is what we really want to be doing. So yeah, this is like the first hand of that. There's just one hand from this video, and then there's 7 hands from a session I played Sunday evening. I'm not sure if all of them are going to be worth reviewing, but we're going to do it anyway. We're just going to do it all in one take and see what happens. Just to let you guys know, reminders, please don't forget to like, share, join the Facebook group, comment, all of those things. And if you are looking for a little bit of help with your game and you are a recreational player who is struggling to win, or as somebody who's struggling to move up from say 10 and L up to 20, 25, 30 and L, then please consider getting in touch for a session with me, like a taster session, and hopefully you enjoy it and we can go on to more. Or maybe you don't enjoy it and you just think, fuck, that was $30 wasted. But yeah, please do consider it. So anyways, moving on to this first hand, we have 2 kings in the big blind. A very loose aggressive fish opens, another fish calls. Pretty loose aggressive regular on the button just calls, which makes me think he doesn't have anything much. We have 2 kings, and we're obviously going to squeeze it up here. I don't remember what size I made it. I'd like to see, with it being 225 already in the pot, I wouldn't like to see me go less than 4, given that we're going to be out of position and we are squeezing numerous opponents. So I think I'd like to see make it bigger than 4 ideally, but at least 4 I'd like to see. Oh, now he's coming as well, so that's, yeah, we've got to be getting up to close to 5 here, I think, now, given the pot size. Let's see what we go to. 427. I've done that just because of that. I sometimes do that. Maybe people think it's a I tell her, I noticed something I used to try and use. If somebody made a raise and left themselves with a round number, I used to associate that with them maybe being on a raised fold. I mean, it could be completely bullshit, but that's what I've done. But I should have not have done it this time because it's not big enough. But anyway, we did, and we get two callers, and the flop comes down 10, 10, 9. Obviously it's a pretty awesome flop for us. Of course some people can have 10 jack, queen 10, ace 10 suited, maybe pocket 9s, 10 9 suited, so we're not home and horsed by a long way. But I think we have to like our hand at this point. But it's how do we proceed with it? Into 2 players here, if we bet, we're kind of, in my opinion, just going to say, look, we've got the overpair and turn our hand face up, make it very, very easy for them to fold pocket jacks, pocket 8s, things like that. And because this player's super aggressive, I decided to check here, with a view to not folding to him, of course. It checks through. 9 comes on the turn. That doesn't change anything in my opinion, unless someone's got 8 9 suited or jack 9 suited, something like that. Then if they have, fuck our lives. I decided to continue with trying to induce something from this dude, but by now I'm very, very confident this fella's just got nothing and not at all worried about him. I do check again. Our aggressive fish does bet this time. Don't think he needs to bet that size personally, but he does bet that size. Maybe he could go a little bit smaller, possibly, given that he doesn't look like he's got anything. And to be fair, it looks like we've just got an ace king, ace queen type hand. I think maybe you could bet a little bit smaller, so we don't need to bet that much to make me fold. And I guess I'm probably not folding ace high here. Who knows? Anyways, he bets, he does what he does. I continue with my elaborate trap. and just call, and the river, in my opinion, bricks off. He sets us in, we call, and he shows us 4-4, which is obviously a fantastic result for us. But I think that's a victory from a reads there, more than anything else, because it's not always a line I would take. I mean, I would certainly just bet a decent amount of the time, but when I've got an aggressive player in position who I know is capable of getting out of line with a pretty high frequency, I do like to have some strong hands in my checking range. Maybe we overdid it slightly in terms of like checking the turn as well, but it worked out. And I'm not playing results because I think I played the hand well against this exact opponent. I played the hand how I should have played it against him. Maybe he just doesn't do this all the time. Maybe he just gives up sometimes and we end up looking like a dick checking kings down. But it worked this time, and I was pretty happy with the outcome. So we join this hand just slightly further in. Reg opens the button. Fish just calls out of the small blind. We have the ace jack off suit. I think it's a pretty, not mandatory squeeze, but I think it's certainly a fine squeeze, and we elect to make it. I think sometimes if a fish opens and a regular calls, maybe I'm less likely to make it, just because I think the fish is less likely to fold, which isn't a problem when we've got ace jack exactly, but then he comes along too, and all of a sudden we're playing ace jack off suit in a multi-way pot, which isn't always ideal. So when I am squeezing, I prefer to have the tighter player being the opener and the looser player being the caller. I think it works out a lot better that way in general. So the regular folds and we get what we want. The regular out of the pot who's got position on us, and we get the green tagged player coming in, and we've flopped pretty well. Obviously we're not going to get folds from pocket pairs very often at this point, but we've got so much equity against them, I'm not too arsed anyway. Come on, sir. He leads out for 60, which is just a weird bet. It's just a weird thing to do. Didn't really understand it. I think we just have a super easy raise. I mean, I guess we could just call if we're feeling ridiculously cautious, but it's a really easy raise. We've got two overcards. We've got the nut flush draw, and I mean, even if he has like pocket eights here, you know, we're still in like really good shape against that, and in good shape against most of his range. Unless he's flopped a flush or a set, then we're in pretty good shape. So we raise to 320. I think I preferred 4, but 320, whatever. He calls. Board pairs the turn. And he bets 160 this time. I mean, I guess we could just call here, try to hit. Do we think we have any fold equity here? What's his stack? He's got £12.55 left, so we have like some fold equity, I guess. I mean, maybe if we can get him to like bet fold 9s here sometime, then we're having a fantastic result. Something like that. So calling or jamming's fine here. I don't think there's anything wrong with either. I think if I just had like the king high flush draw or the queen high flush draw, I would definitely just call. If I had like ace queen with the queen of diamonds or something like that, maybe I'd just call then. But if you have like the nut flush draw, I guess it just inspired me to go with the jam, which is what I did. Our opponent snaps us with two kings and a diamond, but we get there anyway, which is not unpleasant. It's not been the best of months for me in terms of getting there in situations like this, and also having other people get there against me in spots where you can get quite annoyed quite quickly. I think there may be some of them coming up later in this video, who knows, but yeah, it's nice to get there for a change. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong there. It's not nice when you've got to suck out on a fish, but sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do, and this time we needed to suck out to get there, to suck out to win, and luckily we did. So we join this hand. I have raised from middle position with 6-7 suited. I don't always do this, but when we have 3 fish at the table, I pretty much always do, especially when they've got 2 fish in the blinds. We get 3 bet. And normally I would just fold to the 3-bet. I mean, I'm not going to be playing 6-7 suited out of position to a 3-bet against a fish or not. However, every man and his dog comes along, and now we're getting like 5-1 pre-flop, so only like 20% equity. So even if he has aces, we're getting just about the right price to see a flop, knowing that there's going to be the flops that are good for us that we can just like go with, and most of the time just check fold, I guess. But yeah, we're getting a reasonable price now, money with some very good implied odds. So we go for the call and we flop absolute gin. We obviously check, pretty confident, or not confident, but hoping he's got the overpair. If he's got ace king, he's obviously going to check back, but we can just start betting turns, so it's not a huge problem. Given that there's already £11 in the pot, we've got an SPR of 3 against the bigger stack. I'm not sure if we cover him or not, but either way, it's going to be no problem getting all the money. And even if we do have, even if the street does check through, he does bet though. So at this point, I'm very confident that he just has like aces, kings, queens, something like that. And I put in an incredibly small check raise. Fish are not going to fold. They're going to have aces, kings, and queens here and be like, oh fuck. But they're literally never going to fold. If he's got ace, king, or something, and he's bet the flop, then yeah, he's going to fold that, and we don't get to bluff catch against that. But at this point, he's squeezed. And then he's 3-bet, then he's like c-bet into 3 players. So I was just incredibly confident he had the overpair, and I expected him just to jam and call and win the pot most of the time. He does just call. King comes on the turn, which, I mean, fair enough. We're still going with that hand. We're not asked, but obviously he does hit like probably about 1/3 of his flop calling range. But I mean, at this point, it's just a super easy jam. And we do jam. He does snap call, and he has jacks. I mean, I get his flop call. I think his turn call, I don't like it. But I mean, I guess he's not beat by that much. 8's full, random 7x. That's about it, really. So I don't really hate his play either. I think if he's made the decision to just call flop and then not fold any turn, then I guess that's fine. Not a great card for him, of course, but shouldn't hit me very hard at all. Shouldn't change much on my flop check raising range. He was either like way ahead, way behind on the flop anyway. The king doesn't change anything on that, so I mean, whatever it is, what it is. And sadly, he just rivers the jack and drags a 74 quid pot, which was yeah, and this isn't I mean, how many of you guys have been watching my videos for a long time? I never moan about running bad, but this has been like the last 4 weeks has just been fucking unreal. We can't track our EV on Sky, of course, but I think I'm hundreds below EV, probably, I guess. And then we got like other situations. It's been a really rotten month, rotten 4 weeks to be fair. It happens. It's part of the game. It's why we have bankrolls. But yeah, in terms of like the last 4 weeks, my hourly rate's been way below expectation. But it's going to happen, and if you can't handle it, then I guess you just have to quit playing the game or go broke. Hopefully, we won't have to do either. This is probably going to be the time you guys who just like Hold'em are probably going to switch off, because I think the next 5 hands are all PLO, because I finished the session off playing PLO. So we have a really bad PLO player. If you're blue tagged at PLO, you are like really, really piss poor. Limping, we've got the double suited jacks, which at some spots I might just complete, but against this guy it's a slam dunk raise. He calls, we flop the nuts, we pot it, we still have the nuts. We pot it, only enough pot it, and then we still have the nuts, in my opinion. Obviously quad 2s now beats us. Jam it in his face, and he calls with, I didn't actually check this back at the time, ace 7, 8, 8, so what did he have? By the river. Oh, pocket aces. Yes, sorry. So he limp called with just 2 aces and then just didn't fold them. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter much either way. It's still going to get stacked because if he raises pre-flop, I'm either going to 3-bet him or just call. And then we're still going to flop the set. So, yeah, unlucky for him, I guess. Good for us. We join this hand on the flop. It's been limped 5 ways. I probably should raise king, king, queen. If it was double suited, I would have raised it for sure. As it was single suited, I elected just to check. I'm not sure if this is good or not. This is where this stops being kind of like my knowing what I'm talking about and turns into my just describing my thoughts and hopefully getting some feedback. 2 kings, king, queen suited. I mean, the 5s just really hurts this hand, I think. I mean, if this was like a jack or if it was a red 5 or a 10 or something, then it would absolutely have just raised. But the problem is when you raise at the big blind, you typically, everyone that's limped calls and then you instead of being out of position in a bigger pot. With a hand that isn't going to improve that often, you know, king, king, queen 5 isn't going to improve a huge amount on most flops. Anyways, we have flopped the nuts, so we pot it. We get called. And we still have the nuts, so we pot it again. I'm not sure where I put that hand in, to be honest. Maybe I've got the wrong one. Yeah, because that was just, who cares? Sorry about that. This was the hand we were meant to be looking at. This hand happened literally seconds after the last one ended, and I put the slider, the timer to where I thought it should have been, and yeah, I hit it about 30 seconds too early. This was the hand we're meant to be looking at. We flopped the nuts here. Not sure what's going on pre-flop. I think he's raised and we 3-bet and he called and we flopped the nuts. We bet, he calls. Maybe I could have bet bigger there, I'm not sure. On the turn we we got the nuts. Our hand's pretty much invincible unless he's got a set, of course, or 2 pairs that might improve. We bet 7, leaving just another 7 behind. An opponent calls, and this is someone who I'm not sure is tagged green. I'm not sure he's a fish. He might be one of the better players in the games, but that's not to say I think he's good. But he plays more than one table. I presume he sees himself as a regular, but I've not seen him do anything yet that's really that good. So I can't tag him as anything other than a green player. Obviously, I have a super easy jam on the river. He calls, and he called our 3-bet with ace deuce 5-3, double suited. But I mean, as you can see, the suit that's got him in big trouble here. I'm not sure. I mean, I would fold his hand pre-flop. I would certainly open it from the cutoff, but I think I would fold it. You know, he's going to be in like quite a lot of trouble. He's got the nut flush draw with his ace deuce suited, but his other flush draw is pretty much worthless, and his straight draws are pretty rubbish too. It's really hard to make like a nut straight with that holding. So he just hasn't got enough nut potential in my opinion. It's got the nut spades, but I don't think that's enough. I think he should probably fold it pre-flop. I could be wrong. I mean, as it happens, we had him like crushed in this suit. If it comes spades, it would have been the other story, and he would have been the one crushing us, I guess. But yeah, would I go nut broke with a non-nut flush? Probably in a 3-bet pot, but who knows. But yeah, I just think it looks to me like he should be folding pre, but maybe not. I mean, if anyone's good at PLO that happens to stumble on this video, could you tell me if is from his point of view, if it's gone pot pre and we repot, which is probably what happened, is this hand a defend? It doesn't feel like it is to me. Maybe it is against like some really bad players, but against someone who you think might at least have half a clue. And I'm not pretending I'm a good PLO player because I'm absolutely not. But against someone who might at least have half an idea of what he's doing, are these the types of hands you want to be defending? Maybe it is. Maybe I'm being too nitty, but it feels to me like it's not a strong enough hand. I'd much rather have like a I don't know, like a 10 jack 8-9 double suited or 10 jack 8-7 double suited. Something like that feels like it's going to play a lot better. Because if we have what we're supposed to have here, which is aces, he is in pretty rough shape against aces, whereas a lot of the rundowns, have a lot of equity against aces, and they have the benefit of position too. So, I mean, maybe we have to defend super wide in PLO versus 3-bets, especially when we're in position, but I'm not sure, and I certainly don't think this is the defend, but I could be wrong. Onto this hand, we've opened the ace, queen, 5-4 double suited from what is effectively the cut-off. I mean, seems like a pretty standard open to me. 3 fish at the table, we get 3 callers, and we flop pretty much as well as we can without actually having a made hand. We have the nut flush draw, and we have an open ender. So we've got the nut flush draw with the ace and the 5 of clubs. We have the open ender with the 5 and the 4. So I mean, obviously it's a really good flop for us. We're going to want to start shoveling money in, I guess. Hope I pot it. For some reason I pot it and take it back, and I'm not sure why I'd do that, but I did. We get raised here, and it doesn't matter what he has. I mean, we're going to be a favourite against it. I mean, if he could show me a set of jacks here, and I'd still shovel all the money in, and I guess we'd be flipping. So hopefully I just repot it all in as it is. So we do go all in. He calls. He has the 6-6 Jack 3, so he's got like a set of 6s right now. I'm going to guess that we're a slight favourite here, maybe like 55-45, something like that. Let's just pause the video and pull up Pro Poker Tools, or whatever it's called. Well, I got that slightly wrong. He's a 55% favourite, well, 54% favourite here, so yeah, I thought I would have been favourite there with like my, whatever it is, 15 out draw, is it? Something like that. But we weren't, so there we go. Probably because no, he's not blocking anything, is he? He's not blocking any of it. So yeah, he's just like favourite, so I mean, I guess we can't blame him for getting it in once he flops middle set. But I mean, again, talking more about his hand than I was here, this is why it's green tagged. I mean, 6-6 Jack 3 double suited, in my opinion, it's a slam dunk, piss easy fold pre-flop. But this is why these games are so good. But sadly, it shows why they're so like infuriating too. Because I mean, I don't know what the pre-flop equities are here. I guess it doesn't really matter either, because pre-flop's kind of so irrelevant in PLO unless we're getting it all in. Well, not irrelevant, but the equities are going to be close-ish pre-flop, and it's much more of a post-flop game. But yeah, I mean, it seems to me, and this is where, like, when I'm playing PLO, like I do sometimes, the injustice tilt will sometimes tend to kick in, and like not so much entitlement tilt because I know better than that. But when I see people making these like really like calling with hands that they shouldn't really be calling with, and then we're on the wrong end of a cooler and they win. That's sometimes when the injustice tilt starts to pop in. And I don't tilt monkey. I just never do. I mean, I can't remember the last time I just like spewed a stack off because it was steaming. I mean, I don't play as well. I'd certainly go off my A game, but I don't do the tilt monkey thing. But I'm just sit there and I'm just like silently seething, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm playing with some of the worst players in the world, and we can't seem to be getting it done. It's been one of those months. It's been like the last 3 or 4 weeks, and etc. It does build up. I talked in a previous video about underlying tilt. I still think it's there, to be honest with you. I haven't shifted it yet because nothing much is changing. I keep trying to go into sessions with a positive mindset. I do go into them with positive mindsets, but then enough weird things happen, like this hand, for example, a hand earlier with the 6-7 when we got it all in with like whatever 95% equity or 94% equity and got beat. It just keeps dragging me back. It's like 3 steps. The last 4 weeks have been like 3 steps forward, 2.5 steps back. It's super infuriating. And yeah, I totally get it. It's variance, it's part of the game. But when you're going through it, and it's going on now for what's been 4 weeks, which I'm not used to happening on Sky, because I mean, Sky is that soft. Going through 4 weeks of maybe winning at £4 an hour, it starts to get a little bit old, and it is starting to feel a little bit old now. Tonight, for example, we're not going to look at the hand. I ran super deep in the mini main. I think I finished 14th in it. I got Kings in versus Ace Jack all in pre for like 100,000 chips with when the average was like 50 something, maybe 60. And then he spiked an ace and we got knocked out. And I'm like, okay, now. So we end up cashing for 26 quid when we would have had like a second chip lead there with just 11 people left. So yeah, it's just been like, it's like wading through treacle this month. It happens. I get it. I mean, when you look at some of the streamers, how they've been running at Lex, God knows how he feels. It's just been like, nothing good's been happening. And nothing good's been happening for me. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm fortunate that I'm still winning. I mean, if I'd have been running this bad on a tough site, then fuck knows how bad it could have been. Could have been a 20, 30, 40 buying downswing, who knows. It could have been real serious carnage. Fortunately, Sky is so soft, even when I'm running incredibly bad, I usually manage to win in the long term. But yeah, if anyone at Sky could like switch off my Doom switch anytime in the next week or so, then yeah, I'd certainly appreciate it. So guess what? We lose this hand because all our fucking whining. So there we go. We don't get there, and you know, it's a cooler, but yeah, it's annoying. Moving on to the second to last hand, we have the Jack 6 Ace Queen double suited versus a limp and a pot open from a fish on the button. Don't remember very much about this guy. We can't see the name, unfortunately. But I elect a 3-bet Ace Jack, Ace Queen, Jack 6 double suited. I think it's fine, especially 50 blinds deep. I expect him to just pile it in pre a lot, and I'd just like click call and see what happens. I guess. I mean, maybe that's spewy. Maybe getting this hand in all in pre for 50 bigs is spewy versus like a 4-bet shove. But I mean, it seems fine to me. It's some of the hands I see people getting it all in with. There's a hand earlier that saw a 3-way all in, and the guy with, I think he had something like 7, 8, 8, 3 or something like that, and he managed to crack aces and kings, which is fucking hilarious, to be honest. But then sadly he ran away straight away, which was a shame because he ended up with like an £80 stack, which would have been pretty sweet to have him at your table with an £80 stack. But anyways, I'm not sure. It could be spewy, could not be. My plan was just 3-bet and then whatever. Just if he jams, get it in. If he calls, and just hope to get a good flop. So he did call, and we do get it. Well, we get as good a flop as we guess we can hope for. There's 2 people in the pot. I didn't realise this guy called. But we got like an SPR of like 1 and a bit with him, less than 1 with him, and we flopped a nut flush draw. And you know, we maybe have a little bit of fold equity. Who knows? So I'm presuming I just pot it, Reggie. Why am I doing this not pot thing? I need to work on that next time. That's something I've definitely learned from myself. Just pot it. You know, it doesn't make any difference in this hand because he would have called anyway. But I need to stop this pot, wind it back a bit. It's, you know, it's pot limit Omaha. Most of the time when I'm going to be betting, I'm going to have either a strong made hand or a strong draw. And yeah, I got told off in my last video for like under betting a little bit. And even though I've clearly got a bit better in this video, I've not got it where I'd like it. We should just be potting there. Anyway, this guy slow played aces. We are nowhere near as good a shape as we hoped to be in. And we did not get there, but never mind. We're not supposed to beat aces there, so I don't mind when we don't. And it turns out that was our last hand, because the last hand that I thought I was recording was a PLO hand that I won, but it turns out I was recording the wrong screen. I was recording the tournament. So yeah. There we go. Here are our results for the month to date. We've played 32 sessions over 51 hours. I'm not sure why it does this current month hours played thing. And this is the actual hours, 51 hours. We've only made just short of 200 quid for £3.71 an hour. It's fucking appalling. I mean, that might sound like really entitled, you know, because I know a lot of you guys watching the video probably don't even win. And I don't want to sound like a fucking self-entitled fuckwit, but I mean, my hourly rate is consistently like £8-9 an hour on here, and on good months it gets up to 13. So when we're having like a £3.71 an hour month, and you tag that on to like the end of last month, where I'm not sure what my second half of the month hourly was, but it was pretty fucking low, then it's annoying. You know, it's I mean, it is what it is. Who knows? It might turn around. I might have a fantastic week this week. I might win £300 and in 20 hours or whatever, and boost it right up a little bit, get up to like £6 an hour maybe. But yeah, it's annoying for now. But as I said, we've been running really quite badly. I'm really pleased with how well my game's held up, given how badly I've been running. Lots of players would be significantly worse off than me right now, and if I was playing on a tougher site, like we said, running as I am, I would be significantly worse off too. So I'm grateful that I'm playing on a site where I can run about as bad as I can remember for a long time. I'm not exaggerating this, and I'm glad that I never moan about bad beats and running bad, because it hopefully gives it more credence when we actually do talk about it. I can't remember running as bad as I have like over the last 4 weeks for like who knows how long. But yeah, I mean, it has to turn around eventually, and if it doesn't, then we're still in games where we can at least win, by the looks of things. So yeah, fingers crossed it'll turn around soon. Not sure when we're back with the next video. I guess when we've got a handful of hands to review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're not going to be doing the live play videos because I watched it back and it was fucking boring. Like, I thought maybe skipping between the tables would keep it going enough, but it doesn't. It's just fucking boring. So we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be just continuing the format that we did before Sky said, "Can you please stop?" This is now hopefully making it where Sky don't mind, because no players' names are being compromised here. Some players might be able to identify themselves, but nobody else will be able to identify them. So I don't see this being an issue going forward. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. In some PLO No Limit content, I will try and have more No Limit content than PLO, but I am playing both games at the moment, and usually if No Limit's a bit rubbish, my volume's maybe more at PLO than No Limit at the moment. But hopefully that'll go back now. Now this race is finished. It finished 55 minutes ago. Hopefully the games are going to get a little better so we can get more good No Limit hold'em action in. But we'll see. But that's it for now. Hopefully we're back later in the week with another video. Take care everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.